Welcome everyone to another episode of 3 a.m. Cheese Thoughts, where we ask the important questions that arrive quietly and refuse to be ignored. Tonight's question is powerful, steady, unshaken, almost mythical, and in honor of an absolute legend. What is the Chuck Norris of cheese? The idea of an unbreakable cheese. Some things don't bend. They don't melt under pressure. They don't adapt to the room. They don't ask for permission to exist. They simply are. When people think of Chuck Norris, they don't just think of a person. They think of a force, a presence, something that doesn't need validation, because it defines the standard. So naturally, the question becomes, does cheese have something like that? A cheese that doesn't just exist. It sets the tone for all others. The Contenders. Some might say cheddar. Reliable. Strong, everywhere. Cheddar doesn't need to prove itself. It has already proven everything. Others might suggest Edam, calm, composed, covered in a protective shell, like it knows something the rest of us don't. It rolls through life, literally, without resistance. But here's the problem. Being strong isn't enough. Being consistent isn't enough. To be the Chuck Norris of cheese, the cheese must feel inevitable. The cheese that doesn't flinch. The true Chuck Norris of cheese wouldn't need to be named. It wouldn't need branding. It wouldn't need explanation or approval. It would exist quietly, unchanged by trends, unmoved by opinions, unbothered by whether or not it melts perfectly. Because it doesn't exist to fit the dish exists to fit it. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the Chuck Norris of cheese isn't a specific cheese at all. Maybe it's a state, a way of being, solid, certain, unaffected. Mercy and stillness. There's a saying, may Chuck have mercy, not because he must, but because he can. And maybe that's what real strength looks like. Not force, not dominance, but control and restraint. The ability to remain steady when everything else is melting. Maybe the strongest cheese is the one that doesn't need to prove anything. So tonight, as you lie awake, thinking about strength, identity, and the quiet power of simply existing, ask yourself, are you trying to become something impressive, or are you becoming something unshakable? This has been 3 a.m. Cheese Thoughts. Stay steady, stay calm, and remember, some things don't need to fight to be strong. They just need to remain.